to go outside, but now I've done so many chores that simply needed to be done. And the jigsaw puzzles that I've finished really are quite fun. I'll survive.
Good.
Yeah.
I think barely we're doing those things, but good.
All right, so here's our song for y'all. There's a loving in your eyes all the way. If I listen to your lies, would you say I'm a man without conviction? I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell a contradiction. You come and go, you come and go. Come a chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Didn't hear your wicked words every day. You used to be so sweet, I heard you say that my love was an addiction. When we cling, our love is strong. When you go, you're gone forever. You string along, you string along. Come a chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Every day is like survival. You're my lover, not my rival. Every day is like survival. You're my lover, not my rival. I'm a man without conviction. I'm a man who doesn't know how to sell a contradiction. You come and go, you come and go. Come a chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Come a chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Thank you very much, everybody, for having
Thank
us
you.
again.
Yes.
That was fun.
Fun to see you all.
Hey, Rob, thank you for unmuting me. Thanks a lot, guys. That was great. Appreciate it. It sounded wonderful. So up next, we have Brian Spencer, but I'm not sure if I see him. Are you here, Brian?
Yes.
I still can't see him, but will you unmute him and give him the spotlight?
I'm
Brian, there you
unmuted
are.
now. Yeah.
Hi.
I'm in the French Riviera.
Nice. Well, tell us about it. What have you been doing, Brian?
I've been primarily knitting, writing, watching movies on television.
Nice.
That's my life.
Been to any parties lately?
Well, I've got one that I'll tell you about.
Please do.
Quite for no reason, I'm here for the season and high as a kite. Living in error with Maud at Capero, which couldn't be right. Everyone here is thoroughly gay, and nobody cares what people say. Though the Riviera is really much queerer than Rome at its height. Saturday night, I went to a marvelous party with Nunu and Nada and Nell. 'Twas in the fresh air, and we went as we were, and we stayed as we were, which was hell. Dear Grace started singing at midnight and did not shut up until 4. Poor Laura, because we all knew the excitement was bound to begin when Laura got blind on Dubonnet and gin and scratched her veneer with a Cartier pin. I couldn't have liked it more. I went to a marvelous party. We played the most wonderful game. Maureen disappeared and returned in a beard, and we all had to guess at her name. Dear Cecil arrived wearing armor, some shells, and a black feather boa. Poor Millicent wore a Cyrilius comb made of bits of mosaic from St. Peter's in Rome. But the wait was so great that she had to go home. I couldn't have liked it more. I went to a marvelous party. We didn't start dinner till 10, and young Bobby Carr did a stunt at the bar with a lot of extraordinary men. Dear Baba arrived with a turtle which shattered us all to the core. The Grand Duke was doing the foxtrot with me when suddenly Cyril screamed fiddly-dee and ripped off his trousers and jumped in the sea. I couldn't have liked it more. I've been to a marvelous party. Elise made an entrance with May. Oh, you'd never have guessed from her fisherman's vest that her bust had been whittled away. Poor Lulu got fried on Chianti and talked about esprit de corps. Maurice made a couple of passes at Gus, and Freddie, who hates any kind of a fuss, did half the Big Apple and twisted his truss. I couldn't have liked it more. But I went to a marvelous party, and I must say the fun was intense. We all had to do what the people we knew would be doing 100 years hence. We talked about growing old gracefully, and Elsie, who's 74, said, A, it's a question of being sincere, and B, if you're supple, you've nothing to fear. Then she swung upside down from a glass chandelier. I couldn't have liked it more. I'm going round to another party this evening. I hope to see you there. It's going to be marvelous.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. That was beautiful. Well, and lucky Brian, he's still going to parties. He must be talking about something he did earlier in the year, because I don't think we're there now. Now, we have a surprise visitor who's over there in the corner. Rob, will you unmute Mo? Rob, you need to unmute Mo.
So I don't have the power to unmute somebody on an iPad, so Mo will have to unmute himself.
Well, everybody, I'm going to go in the next room and tell Mo to unmute himself. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, hopefully he can hear me saying, unmute yourself.
iPad users unite.
Yes, thank you for all the background info on iPads.
There we go.
Okay, take it, Pippa.
Okay, I love that. Hello. Did you say take it for me? Did you take it? Yeah?
I think he said so. Yeah, go for it, Pippa.
Okay. Hi from New Mexico. I'm in the back of my car. If you look like, see, like here's the car. I'm in the car in a parking lot. So I moved to Santa Cruz in '74 with a kindred spirit, Robert Service. And I know a lot of you knew Robert, and I wanted to honor him today by bringing up a picture of Robert and Anthony, his true love. So can you see that of Robert?
Oh, a little bit. It's kind of hard to see, but
There, can you see?
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thanks.
It's Robert and Anthony.
So that's from '74?
No, that's a picture that they took in 1991. We came out in '74, and then he came out again with Sean Laughingtree in '76. And so that was Robert. But anyway, now I'm back in New Mexico. And I wanted to read a little poem first that from Robert's journal that his brother gave me. And his poem says, hold a prayer in your heart, whatever your faith, religion, science, magic, for the unity of humankind, lest all our birthdays become funerals. So that was from Robert. And so I'm going to sing Sweet Mercy. Tom and Larry asked me to sing Sweet Mercy, so I'm going to sing Sweet Mercy. And, you know, we all need some comfort now and then. And so this song is for you, each one of you, in the times where we need comfort. Do, 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 I hear a little baby crying in the night, and the mother crying too. So I open up my window and I hum a little tune. I pray that it will ease their pain. Do, 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 Sweet mercy from heaven, please shine down on us tonight to take away our sorrow as gently as moonlight. This is our prayer. sleeping in a car, and I wonder what has brought them here. What is their story? Why did they come so far? I pray for them to find the way home. Do, 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 Sweet mercy from heaven, please shine down on us tonight to take away our sorrow as gently as moonlight. This is our prayer, our humble prayer. My ukulele got a little out of tune from the heat, but I hope it's okay. A friend calls tonight with a broken heart. She has lost her will to live and to love. I tried to tell her that love is still alive. It's just sleeping deeply in her sweet soul. But she cries and cries and she asks me why. Why did true love have to die? So I open up my heart and I sing a little song. I pray that it will ease her pain. Do, 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 do. Sweet mercy from heaven, please shine down on all of us right now and celebrate to take away our sorrow as gently as moonlight. This is our prayer, our humble prayer. And sing with me. Do, 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 Love you.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
That was
Thank
so
you.
gorgeous, Peepa. Thank you so much for sharing that
Yay,
with
thank you.
us. And you
Thank you.
live in New Mexico now, but we all know that, and we loved you. Lived here for so long. We still think of this as your hometown. But we're in weird times now where you can't travel that frequently. How are you coping with these times these days? Is music really helping you a lot?
Music always helps me a lot, and I do miss our community. Sometimes I made this choice to move here, but I lived in Santa Cruz for 43 years, so all of my most of my adult life, all of it really. And so I miss everybody. So right now I'm so happy to see everybody. But coping here, yeah, the desert, the sky, the night sky, the quiet, just learning how to be with myself in all of this quiet, as all of us are, right? We are all in that right now. That isolation, but hopefully not too separated, that balance, right? So I think I'm doing okay. Once in a while I get a little crazy, but I always have. I'm always a little crazy. And my friends understand, because you know, they have to deal with that. But I think I come out and like right now, I feel great. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And you know, I think we're all a little crazy right now. I think we could all agree to that. But I just have to say that that song was so beautiful.
Oh,
It really touched me, and I'm
good.
sure it meant so much to us. But I want to say from all of us in Santa Cruz, we love you, Pipa, and we can't wait to
Oh,
see you back here. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you so
oh,
much.
thank you for touching my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Pipa. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay. So, hey, Kurt, I noticed that Sharon is here. Should we switch over to her for a minute here?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Sharon Popo, you know, I think everybody knows she's the executive director of the Diversity Center. Hi, Sharon. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, this is kind of an experimental thing in this group, and so I think it's working out pretty well so far. But you know, one thing I wanted to ask you, Sharon, besides saying hello to everybody, oops, sorry, I gotta turn off my phone here, what's the Diversity Center doing these days for all its programs? Can you give us a little update on that?
Sure. We have done a really big pivot to move everything virtually. And so our youth program now has a 24/7 youth chat space with daily programming and everything from queer history classes to homework help to cooking classes. I want to give a huge shout out to Abel. I know he'll talk more about all he's doing in our 60 plus program, but him and the committee have done an amazing job really having wonderful places to connect throughout the week, and I know he'll share more, but I want to give a huge shout out to Abel, and I hope folks stay connected. I was on the Sip and Chat last week with Jimmy Panetta, and it was awesome. So really, really wonderful things happening, very, very vibrant. And we have other great things going on. Our transgender program has 18 support groups happening a month still. They're just all online. And we still have our regular support for when folks, if there's anything that folks need, they can reach out and we will do everything we can to support folks. Aurora is on our call. Hi, Aurora. She's our volunteer coordinator, and I know she's been doing many things to connect folks, including a grocery delivery service that we do in partnership with the Volunteer Center for folks who don't want to leave their homes and need food. So there are lots of ways that we can support you. Please reach out, and we're here. So yeah, so we're excited to be here and feel like we've done a really big pivot to support our community, and we're here for you.
Well, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
I want to join in to thank you and Abel and Aurora, and I also see Mark Zamet was on the call earlier. I think he's still there. The president, I think, still of the board of directors.
Yes.
So thank you, Mark, for making it all happen too. You all have done an incredible job in really stepping up and meeting the needs of the community. I applaud you for that, and I'm sure all of us appreciate that the 60 plus program is still going on as well. So let's give a round of applause for the Diversity Center and all the staff.
And I want to give a shout out to our team, the staff and our volunteers and our board, and Mark is on here, and Mark is so humble, he'll never say it, but he has worked so hard for our community. He's truly a visionary and an incredibly hard worker, and I hope folks know that the Diversity Center is in great hands. And I think we're doing some really great work right now, which I'm really proud of. And I also want to let folks know, I just want to say it again, if there's support that folks need, please reach out to us. Another thing we have right now is for the month of May, Teresa Marlowe, a wonderful donor and sponsor, is offered a meal. She's delivering from Jeffrey's restaurant. And so if folks are having food issues and would like a warm meal, reach out to us, because there are things we're setting up an emergency aid fund. Someone just is donating some funds so we can move them out to the community. So we're doing a pivot to make sure that we're here for our community at this time, and please be in touch.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yay, thank you,
Thanks for having
Sharon.
me.
So Kurt, are we on to our next?
Well, I noticed that it looks like Jim Schultz has made it in. Is that true? Do we hear Jim now? Jim is not, doesn't have audio. I mean, doesn't have video, but he is going to, from his home in Watsonville, read us something he wrote. And whenever he's ready, I hope Rob will cue him up. Or maybe he won't.
Jim, are you there?
Yay.
Jim, can you say something? I think that's you on the phone. I think if you have mute on your phone, I think you got to unmute yourself. So Jim, we're not hearing you.
Well, may I suggest we try to contact him offline and go to our next activity here? Abel, could you try to contact?
Sure. Yes.
Try it again, Jim.
Oh.
Nope. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, huh?
Okay, well, you know, it's time for our happy birthday to the people who have birthdays coming up. And this time it's May, June, July, and August, because we're not going to see each other until September because we take the summer off typically. So
so you said May, June, July, and August.
I believe that's right.
Okay, so who has birthdays during May, June, or July, and August? Raise your hand if you have a birthday. Okay, this is going to be for all of us. Birthday guys.
And we're gonna turn this over to Tom and Larry. Pat and I both agreed that we don't sing well enough to lead you, but Tom and Larry do, and so they're gonna do this. Can you hand it over to them, Rob?
I just want to add too, though, is you can everybody can unmute themselves if they want to, maybe Rob can, but it's going to sound really weird. But just bear with us, and maybe you just want to listen to Tom and Larry and the musicians who actually know how to sing. So thank you, Tom and Larry, and also thank you to them for arranging for all the performers. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, take it away.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We'd like to wish you all the best birthdays, and here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm tired.
Good job, everybody.
That was amazing. That was really good.
Amazing.
Thank you, Tom and Larry. Appreciate it. Thanks for stepping in. And really, a lot of the people who are performing today, if it weren't for me not knowing what in the world to do and calling up Tom and Larry, we wouldn't have the people we are listening to today and seeing, because they really worked hard on this, as they do all the time. These guys are incredible.
Yeah, they're like Renaissance men. They really do everything. And since 1975, no less.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of wonderful people in our community, and you guys are certainly way up there amongst them, you know. Thank you.
So
and by the way, I also noticed that that Bob and Denny don't have a live picture up, but I just have to give a shout out to Bob and Denny, because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the work they did in the past.
Absolutely. The Diversity Center would have not been here at all, and therefore everything else thereafter. So thank you to both of you. There's a live photo, video rather, a live video stream.
They look amazingly lifelike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask Abel, did Jim Schultz, oh, well, Abel isn't there right this second. So we're not sure. Did you hear from Jim Schultz by any chance, Rob?
Hey, Jim, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay, there's Jim. If everybody else would mute except for Jim, that would be helpful.
Okay, we're all muting.
You live in the neighborhood?
I live in what?
Jim, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I just got on, so I'm locating the piece now.
Well, Kurt, do you want to do a quick intro?
Jim is somebody that I've known for decades and has performed in AGM and been around the town. He's just a great guy. He does a lot of theater along with Brian Spencer and Joseph Ribeiro and other guys. Jim is fabulous. He's living down in Watsonville now, and he's going to read us something he wrote about his own life, a personal story that happened when he was a young man.
Yes.
Did I get that right, Jim?
Okay. Yes. Well, not young, but in my prime.
Well, and I don't mean to imply that you're not young now, but.
Oh no, I'm 72 now, so that's clearly not young, but I have fond memories, and this is one of them. I have never cheated on Jimmy. It's already 1971, and in the 4 years we've been together, I've been faithful. You know, the way gay guys in San Francisco are faithful. I mean, a random blowjob at the Jaguar bookstore or a quickie with a complete stranger behind a tree in some isolated part of Buena Vista Park doesn't really count. Jimmy and I never really actually discussed the whole screwing around thing, but I figure if I don't know the guy's name, I'm not cheating. I mean, it's not like I kissed him or anything. So anyway, now I have to admit that might be changing. This guy, Raymond, who works in the men's department at Joseph Magnin, he's been flirting a lot with me lately. It's fun and totally harmless. I mean, he has a lover and I have a lover. Besides, Raymond's not even my type. I mean, his hair's kind of wild. It's curly in some parts and not curly in other parts. And he doesn't wear cologne. I mean, what gay guy in his right mind doesn't wear cologne? I mean, I can smell his body odor and when he gets really, really close to me. I mean, who finds that attractive, right? Where was I? Oh, it's my job to go around the store and make sure that the displays are clean and fresh. I'm working on the main floor when I see Raymond come back from lunch. So I immediately head over to the men's department and start rearranging the ties in the display case. Raymond comes over and hovers really, really close enough that I can smell that musky odor of his, you know, the one I don't like. I tell him, Jimmy's working swing shift these days, and God, I really hate eating dinner alone. Then he tells me that Patrick's at the Pac Bell conference in Sacramento till Friday. All kinds of thoughts fly around in my head, but mostly that I'll be alone and he'll be alone, and wouldn't that be sad? And I think if Raymond and I were ever really alone together, I might just pounce on him. And then there'd be no way that I wasn't cheating. That line should definitely never be crossed. Still, imagine how strong that musky smell would be if he was naked and working up a sweat. Oh, Jim, snap out of it, I tell myself. I look up at Raymond, I see his smile, and I quickly return my gaze to the display case. Would you like to come to my house after work? I live close by. Yes, I say, without even thinking. That'll be great. How about dinner at 6:30? I look up into his smiling, pale blue eyes, and I nod. Inside, I panic. I don't want to cheat, mainly because I'm a terrible liar. I mean, all Jimmy has to say is, oh, by the way, have you cheated on me lately? And I'll fidget and I'll hang my head like a puppy dog being interrogated about the shredded throw pillow. When I first met Jimmy, I wasn't the least bit interested in him. I mean, he wasn't even my type. We weren't sexually compatible, with us both fighting to be on the bottom. He ratted his hair. He used makeup. He ran like a girl with his arms flailing up in the air. And oh my God, he wore Angora sweaters. Oh, but something happened. He made me laugh.
He was the first person I ever heard say, fuck them if they can't take a joke. And most of all, he loved me. He really, really loved me. And since then, we've built ourselves a nice life. We're in the place of our dreams. We have two of the cutest little Lhasa Apsos and a killer view. We're happy. And I don't want to screw that up. So my mind is spinning with doubts as I find myself on Raymond's front stoop with my finger on the doorbell. I stare at my shoes, wondering if I'm about to make the biggest mistake of my life. My whole body tingles as he opens the door. That's it. Thank you.
You can't leave us there.
I
Jim.
certainly can.
No. Okay, text me later what happened.
Okay. Hey, you're the one that put a time limit on it.
That was great, Jim. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it.
Jim, you don't have video, but everybody's clapping for you.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
good.
Thank you for saying that. Yes,
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. Thanks. That was great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
You have a good meeting.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. So the next person up is Misha. By the way, how's everybody doing? Are we okay? Anybody else need to go to the bathroom? I do, but
you can do that anytime.
well, I may do it right here in the seat. I'm not sure, but
well, you have permission to go during the next break.
Much
Okay?
info.
Next time I'm talking.
TMI.
So next up is Misha Adams.
You know what? I see Abel is trying to get our attention, I think.
Oh, pardon
Hold
me,
on one
Abel.
second.
Abel, pardon me.
You know, I want to make a quick announcement. I meant to make this announcement in the very beginning, but May 16 is National Honor Our LGBT Elder Day. So this day is very important. It's being celebrated across the country with different organizations. It's a day to thank those who have pioneered our path to freedom. So,
wow. I didn't know that. And that's today.
That's today, May 16th.
Okay, so let's give ourselves and all the other elders around the country a big round of applause again. Yay! Woo! Thank you, Abel.
Great.
Hey,
Okay,
Kurt,
so
back to you.
yeah, back to me. Okay, thanks, Abel. So we didn't list it in our announcements ahead of time, but Misha Adams is going to sing a song. And Misha, maybe you would like to do the intro to the song and tell us a little bit about it before you start singing. Would you do that for us?
Sure. Hi. How's the sound?
Sound is good. If everybody else mutes, it'll be even better.
Okay. Hi. Well, this is an autobiographical song. I started writing it back in the 1970s, and I only finished it a couple years ago. So it pretty much tells its own story. It's called Second Generation Queer Nation. My mama was a big bull dyke from down on the Rio Grande. And she could outride and outshoot and out bullshit and outmaneuver any man. She chose me, she was real pro-choice at the end of World War II. So you better not try and run a number on us, or we'll have to run a number on you. 'Cause we're second generation queer nation. The very first time I fell in love, it was back in junior high. She was sharp as a pistol, he was pretty as sin. They were honeys and that's no lie. I like girls with slinky curls and curves like a big bass fiddle. And I like guys with smiley eyes, gonna take my half from the middle. 'Cause I'm second generation queer nation. I like my girlfriend strong and smart, and my boyfriend's that way too. But you better not ask which one I choose, or I damn sure won't choose you. Either kind just suits me fine, and I've got a lot of pride. You can say I'm about half lesbian, and I get it from my mama's side, 'cause I'm second generation, second generation, second generation, queer nation.
Great job. Thank you so much.
I'd like to introduce the next performer, if I could, because she's a dear friend of mine.
Okay, go for it.
All right. It's my great pleasure and an honor to introduce internationally renowned gender theorist, tireless social justice activist, and advocate for trans people, brilliant audio engineer, parent, grandparent, and community treasure, Roseanne Alucare Sandy Stone.
Yay, Sandy. Welcome, Sandy. Are you there?
I saw Sandy earlier. I don't see her now. I don't see Sandy on here. Does somebody want to connect with them and see if they want to come back on at some point, or?
I can reach out if you want to move. Pat, want to move on to the next performer? Patty? Pat? Pat? Uh-oh.
Let's have a moment with Mo.
Okay.
Are you ready, Mo? He's almost ready.
Oh, all right. You tell me when to switch over.
Thanks, Misha. That was beautiful. Appreciate it.
Yes. So we're switching over to Mo.
We're switching over to Mo.
Okay. A flea and a fly in a flue were imprisoned, so what could they do? Said the flea, let us fly. Said the fly, let us flee. So they flew through a flaw in the flue.
This is intimate with the diversity
Okay. Woo! Okay.
Well,
Great
that was
job.
scary. Now you guys know what I've been living with for the 30 years. Thank you,
Okay,
Maurice.
so thank you, Mo. And Patty Maxine is up next if she's ready. Patty, are you?
Back in. We have Sandy back in now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So,
I'm ready. We just got her back in.
Just kidding. Okay, so sorry, Patty. We're going to go back to Sandy now. And Rob, you got Sandy on your screen, and you'll be able to get her up in a second. Well, I just want to join Misha in welcoming Sandy and recognizing that she is an internationally known figure, but she calls Santa Cruz home now. And you left Santa Cruz for a while and you came back. Why did you make the decision, Sandy, to come back to our beautiful city? And we're so happy you're here, but why did you come back?
Well, a better question is, how could I stay away?
Yeah. So do you want to tell us, you're going to do a spoken word reading? Do you want to tell us a little introduction, or just want to go right into it?
Well, let me tell you a little about it, or a little about, I don't know if anyone here knows anything about my writing. There's no reason you should. I write long form. I write novels. And what I originally wanted to do for this was to read one of the steamy sex scenes from a novel I wrote in the 1980s, but it wouldn't fit into 5 minutes. I like to, when I read for a group, I like to, particularly, a group of 60 and older, I like to read something that will eventually, wind up with at least one coronary event in the audience. And if I chop this thing down and make it fit in 5 minutes, it just turns into people jumping on each other. So I decided not to do that. Instead, I'm going to do something written by someone else that was introduced to me by a friend of mine named Billy Harris, who lives here in Santa Cruz. And this is called Send for Lord Timothy, and it fits into 5 minutes. And I'm going to get closer to the screen for this, and you're going to wind up looking up my nostrils. So I'm going to turn off my video for this part of the reading. And if we ever do an event to which I get invited again, I promise you I'll get a headset, so we don't have to do this. But anyway, here we go. So the squire is in, oh, all right, no. All right, this is the Victorian mystery novel to end all Victorian mystery novels, okay? In 5 minutes or less. The squire is in his library. He is rather worried. Lady Constance has been found stabbed in the locked blue room, clutching in her hand a fragment of an Egyptian papyrus. His degenerate half-brother is on his way back from New South Wales. And what was the butler's glove doing in the Neolithic stone circle up there on the hill, known to the local rustics from time immemorial as the 9 lily-white boys? The vicar is currently learned, curiously learned, in Renaissance toxicology. A greenish Hottentot armed with a knob carry is concealed in the laurel bushes. Mother Mary Tiresias is in her parlor. She is rather worried. Sister Mary Josephus has been found suffocated in the scriptorium, clutching in her hand a somewhat unspeakable Central American fetish. Why was the little novice, Sister Agnew, suddenly struck speechless walking in the herbarium? The chaplain, Father Auguste, is almost too profoundly read in the darker aspects of 4th century Neoplatonism. An Eskimo armed with a harpoon is lurking in the organ loft. The warden of St. Fenol's is in the study. He is rather worried. Professor Ostrocodum has been found strangled in one of the Gothic turrets, clutching in his hand a patchouli-scented lady's chiffon handkerchief. The brilliant undergraduate they unjustly sent down has transmitted an obscure message in Greek elegiacs all the way from Tashkent. Whom was the domestic bursar planning to meet in that evil-smelling riverside tavern? Why was the senior fellow, old Dr. Mousebracket, locked in among the incunabula? An aboriginal Filipino pygmy armed with a blowpipe and poison darts is hiding behind the statue of Pallas Athena. Send for Lord Timothy. A dark cloud of suspicion broods above all, but even now, Lord Timothy Prattencoe, the chinless wonder with a brain like Leonardo's, or maybe Chief Inspector Palefox, although a policeman, patently a gentleman, and with a first in Greek, or perhaps that eccentric scholar, Monsignor Monstrance, alighting from the chuffing train, has booked a room at the local hostelry, the Dragon of Wantley, and is chatting up mine host entirely democratically, noting down local rumors and folklore. Now read on. The murderer will be unmasked, the cloud of guilt dispersed, the church clock stuck at 3, the year always 1920 or 30 or something, honey for tea, and nothing will ever happen again. Okay, off mute. For whatever that was worth.
Yay, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy.
That was so cool.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay, we are moving on to our next performer. Thank you all for joining us. Now we're going to Patty Maxine. Patty Maxine coming up here in a second, I think.
There she is.
All right, cool. I'm putting this on the right view now. Oh, still not. I see you, Kurt.
Yeah, Patty looks like she's ready. Her vocal cords are looking good. And
good, and we'll just have to wait for a second for Rob to put her up on the screen here as the speaker. So
just finding her.
Okay, Rob,
there she is.
There she is.
We got so many people
Patty.
on here.
Wow, cool. Thank you so much for coming. What do you got there? Oh, that's your sound effects? It's good to have sound effects. So we're so happy that you're here too. I just realized that, well, not just realized, but I remembered that you were one of the recipients of a Lifetime Achievement Award a few years ago from the Diversity Center. So thank you for that. But I also just found out that you got a Gail Rich Award a few years ago, and that's like the premier award in Santa Cruz for cultural things. So I congratulate you on that if it's a couple years late, but we're really happy to have you here. And how are you coping with things these days? Are so strange these days, especially musicians. You don't get together as much as you used to. How do you cope with that?
I walk a lot these days. I get wound up and then I walk.
Yeah.
And I have had a couple projects that have kept me very engaged, and thanks to Ron Wilson and his sidekick, who has a CD coming out, by the way, Rick.
Oh, tell us about that.
Well, I'll let them tell you about that. I was just on one, maybe one track, at least one track. So I got to be able to do that. And then there's another community effort that's going to be presented on May the 25th at 4 p.m. And it's on YouTube. I'm not quite sure how that all will happen, but it's a version of Ripple.
And it's from our local community here?
Yes.
Cool.
So it's K-Pig. So if you go there, you could probably find out details about when to access that. So
Yeah.
wonderful projects like that. And that's about it. This is really pushing me a little ahead of my time here with all this here technology and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, well, we're obviously all still working it out together. So.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
What are you gonna sing for us today?
Well, I'm going to do a Charlie Chaplin song, and it started out earlier today. It was different than it's going to be right now, so that's just the way it goes. So hope you like it. And if you don't, please don't tell me. Smile, though your heart is aching, smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile. Through your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow You'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. And a little bitty tear let me down, spoiled my act as a clown. Had it made up not to make a frown, but a little bitty tear let me down.
Yay! Wow, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Patty.
Encore, encore.
Do you have another for us, or is that it?
Well, I have one maybe for later.
Okay, great, perfect. Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys can hang out and till after we have our presentation and we finish things up before we go into chats. Thank you, Patty. We would love to hear from you again.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. And now we have that master of zaniness, who I live with, Mo, who is going to unmute and do some weird ass thing.
Oh, these things read backwards. Happy Pride.
Okay, you're on.
Woo!
Thank you, Mo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mo.
So that's
Good job.
that. And
That
now,
is interesting how those signs are backwards, huh?
I know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
well, you know, I thought he was writing all these signs backwards so that they would appear right, because things are reversed on our cameras a lot, but that didn't work. But Mo, thank you. That was good. Maurice is, I don't know if you know him, but he is always up for a good time and a costume and being just crazy zany. And that's what's kept life interesting, living with him for all these years.
Good
Oh,
for
if
you.
he-
That does seem interesting.
If he's on an iPad, then he could change the view in the iPad, which would give us the right wording, I'm realizing.
Well, next time.
That's for next time. Okay.
Right. We have more Mo moments coming up, right?
No, I think that was your last Mo moment.
Oh,
because
no.
No Mo. No
although,
Mo.
you could ask for an encore, I suppose.
Mo.
But,
We want more. We want more.
Well,
no Mo Mo.
we'll have an encore then later. Okay.
So
No,
I'd
okay.
like to bring up Abel.
Hi again, everyone. Is everyone having a good time? Yes? Good. Good. So a couple of announcements. What we're doing with the 60 Plus program, the Readers Theater has been meeting every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and they've been rehearsing. And they're going to present a stage reading on June 2nd of the play, a scene from the play, The Lion in the Winter. So that's June 2nd, if you want to join us for the Readers Theater. Next Friday, as I mentioned before, at our next Sip and Chat, we've got John Laird is going to be our guest host. So Sip and Chat is very casual, town hall kind of conversation. You just join us with your beverage of choice, and then the host basically starts the conversation. So that's on May 22nd. Also, I want to mention that we've kind of modified our groups. On Monday, the women's group is now the Women's Rights Cafe. And the women meet and they basically, they share articles, poems, stories, songs, and then they receive feedback from the group. So that's on Mondays at 3 o'clock. The men's group is morphed into a gay men's musical theater group. So we do a sing-along. So we're working on that format, but basically because of Zoom and the delay, we provide the music in the background and we all sing along. And then we have a conversation about the passion and love for musical theater. So that's on Mondays. Every Monday.
Can I join the men's group?
Yes.
Sorry.
We do say the groups are and for their friends. So
Okay.
yeah, and their friends.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. The musical theater. Okie dokie, where are we here?
We're right on time. We're right on time, Pat.
Yeah, well, that's you. Abel did the schedule, and I'm amazed. It's like exactly on time. So, now what? So we're up to, we're going to have a presentation from Ariana from Brookdale Senior Residence, the people who are sponsoring our luncheon today. And so we thank you for that. And is Ariana here on the screen somewhere? Rob, do you know where Ariana is? Can you speak up, Ariana? Unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. Okay, Ariana, we're passing it over to you.
I don't see Ariana
that's not her?
unless she goes by a different name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess she's not here
We'll
yet.
pass that back to Abel.
Abel, sorry, would you check in, see what happened with Ariana if she's coming? Well, I actually have something to say now. I'm on the schedule here. And that is, I want to make sure that everybody here has heard about the queer history exhibit at the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History, otherwise known as the MA. Whoops. Oh, yes. Well, look at that. Somebody put that on the screen. Somebody had to be Rob.
Just a sec. I've got slides on that. 1 second, Pat. Keep going.
Okay, so Rob and I have been collaborating with the MA. Rob, who is, Darrow, who's doing our technical work today, for a while, or conspiring with them, me and on behalf of the Diversity Center, and they took our archives into their museum, and now they produce this online exhibit. This is their first online exhibit that they've ever done, and they did it out of necessity, but we happen to be the ones who were up for it to come to be the next exhibit in the history gallery, and so they did it online. So we're really proud of this, so we hope you get to check it out. I want to especially call to your attention to the fact that there's some video clips at the end. If you go to the Trailblazers section, there's also lists of not lists, but notices about Rob's webinars. So he has gatherings where he does discussions about various topics. So you should check out the links in the MA website to this exhibit, to the webinars, and they're also on Facebook, and you can find them in a lot of places. Probably Abel can send out the links to that too, to the group. Yeah, so those are really fun things to join in on. So I'm very proud of this. Rob, do you want to say anything about this exhibit? I just encourage people to check it out.
Yeah, I just think it brings visibility to all of the wonderful work that so many people that are here today have done over the years. And it's well deserved, and we want to keep it alive in lots of different ways. So as you think of other stories to share, please reach out to Pat or myself with your archives or your ideas for stories that hopefully we can share during Pride Month as part of those webinars.
And can I just chime in? Sorry to chime in, but I just want to give so much gratitude to Rob and Pat. And Pat made this happen. She worked on this for, I don't know, since 2014. So I just want to say that the Ma is amazing to be a great partner, but I really want to say it would not be possible without your vision and leadership. So can we just give it up? And Rob came in with so many hours and huge dedication. I know other folks did too. So let's just give it up.
Thank you both.
Thank you guys. Thanks to everybody and who contributed too. We have Larry Friedman and Sandy Stone were two of a few people that we did recordings of, some oral histories about the early days here in Santa Cruz. So we all, want to thank them for participating in that too. And you'll see little clips of them in the museum piece also. So, and quotations and things like that. So
yeah, before we leave that, Pat, just to let people know the upcoming webinars this week, we're going to hear from the people that started the Dyke March on Tuesday, and we're going to hear about when the AIDS quilt was in Santa Cruz in 1989. A group of people are going to talk about that. And then we've got Tom Ellison and other people talking about Lou Harrison coming up later in May, and we're going to hear more about the Ma exhibit. So, and we hope to, again, like I said, everybody here, if you've got stories, whatever, however big or small they are, find 2 or 3 of your friends and let's share our stories sometime in June.
well said, Rob. Those webinars are just really great, and I encourage people to check them out. So, okay. So, Abel, were you able to hear anything about the people at Brookdale, whether they're sending anybody?
Well, I believe they're scheduled at 2:05, so that's probably why they're not here yet.
Oh, we're ahead of
1:50.
schedule. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule.
Uh-oh, we need some more Mo moments.
Yeah.
Or
Cue Mo. But Rob, are you ready with your slideshow? We could do that next. Could.
Yes, we could. Okay.
You could just pivot to that right now, Rob.
I thought I would have a break and I could add music to it, but you know what? Maybe one of the musicians wants to add their music to the slideshow here, or people can narrate as we go through here. So I will be happy to show you the slideshow of memories of all of us. So
Are any of the musicians who are on our line here still does somebody want to do something in the background of this slideshow? And the slideshow is about local LGBTQ stuff. Is that right, Rob?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about all of us.
It's about, yes, many of us.
Patty,
Perfect. Mo has a new outfit on, I see now.
No, he just took off. He just got out of his makeup. That's what he really looks like.
Okay.
All right, you want me to switch to those slides just so we can all look at them?
Yeah,
And
let's do
I
the
would, you know what?
slides.
I would invite any of you to unmute yourselves and share your thoughts as I share these slides with all of you, because many of you are in them. So
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Thank you for doing this.
There's
It's John Laird, of course.
John Laird, yes.
Oh, that's
Joe Kinney
Go Kenny.
and Gloria.
Adam Spickler, Glow. Glow.
Naum, David. Oh, lovely. Wow.
Beautiful. I mean,
Really?
are just so great.
2 nymphs.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoops.
Oh, there's the bulkhead.
That's me, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you missed.
Is it you, Kurt?
Before everything went gray and sagged down to my knees.
Oh,
The
wow.
guy,
I totally recognize you,
that was
Kurt.
that.
I did that with you.
I was taking a picture of the guy behind him.
You were that guy behind him.
You remember taking that photo, huh?
I guess I just
That
got in
was
the
the
way.
famous gay men's volleyball that's gone on since 1979.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, the
oh.
bulkhead. Who knows about the bulkhead? What used to happen at the bulkhead, guys?
What's right?
Incredible
Bulky.
alternative performances.
Right.
Gabrielle and Wendy. They're in the picture.
Gabe and
Wendy Chaptis.
Wendy. Okay.
Yeah.
How fast we forget. Yes.
Right. Yeah, it was a radical place. Peepa, were you ever there? Did you ever go to the bulkhead?
Yes.
Yes, of course. It was a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The head is dead, long live the head. I mean, that says it right all in the book. The strike happening and then the seahorses on the other side. I mean, it all hangs together. Okay, this is the 60 plus.
Yeah.
Do you,
Alina.
who we know in here?
Elena.
Alina, do you see yourself in there?
Oh, yes.
Yes, of course.
Who's that raising their hand at the table?
It's me, Karen.
Karen Ashra.
Oh, cool. That's Catherine and Jan next to me.
Jan and Therese. Catherine Ellis.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Lou? Yeah, it's Lou.
Who else would it be?
Is Lou on here?
No.
No, I didn't see him.
Francis Garcia.
Oh,
Angel.
These turned out a little more grainy than I thought.
Oh, this is the volunteers.
There's
There's
The
Tom and
volun-
Larry
The volunteers.
Grove.
well, and Mark.
and Tom and Larry.
And Doug is
Francis and
Oh, that's Steve Muggsy in the background. It's hard to see like
Yeah.
the resolution. All righty.
Here's what Pride would look like if we were doing it this year.
can you turn up your? Can you mute yourself?
Let's see who that is.
I know.
Oh, sorry. Oh, let me go back.
Oh, there's
Where's Jane?
And you can.
It's not me.
Wow.
Well, there's Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Enrique.
And Amador and
Amador, yeah.
Denny and someone's rear end at the back of the table. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that didn't turn out too well.
It's like, guess who this is?
Well, you know who that is.
Well, we know who they are.
Morgani. The great Morgani right there.
Yeah, where's he today?
Probably playing on the ball.
I asked him to be a part of this, but he said the technical was just too much for him. He couldn't deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can see why.
Oh, I'll help him sometime. We could try it for the next time.
Ralph and Sunshine.
On Indra.
Yeah.
I put people I thought would be here, and now they're not here. So now we know they're not here.
Oh, there's Catherine.
Catherine Steele.
Cat Steele, yeah.
Oh.
Mary Henley. Marie Henley.
Marie, oh, there's Marie. Yeah.
Hey, Marie.
Let's go back to here. Oh, shoot.
Sharon. Steve.
Ezra.
Leslie. Oh, there's Taken. That is Jane and Steve with Jimmy Panetta, right?
Right.
You're right.
Keith Kellogg's in the other one with.
Again, the flag guru, Enrique.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's some people you know.
There's Maury.
Right.
Hey.
with Wayne and
Jerry
Jerry.
Solomon.
That's at our house.
Jerry Solomon, yeah, Mo, and Mark Zammit.
Yeah, Mark.
Our fearless leader, Mark.
Oh, at your house, yeah. One at Happy Halloween looks like, huh?
Yeah, I think it was one of the men's senior things.
Seems like the decorations are a little low key there.
I gotta go back
For
here.
your usual, I mean.
This is a shout out to Alina for being honored at the
Aw.
gala.
Oh, so cool. There you go.
We were all of us being honored.
Right.
Every person at that table.
Are those balloons still lit up somewhere?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
So cool.
So that's the end of those slides. These are just a little bit from the exhibit that we already showed earlier. But if you go to the exhibit, you can see these pictures. Anybody remember this? Anybody remember walking in this parade?
That would be like the late 70s, I believe. We believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't born.
Oh, you're too young, Mark.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember in these parades that people would sit on the side with Bibles and pray for us because we were sinners. And then drag queens would go up and just embrace them and just completely diffuse the whole thing. It was wonderful.
I remember there was in the early 80s, there was a couple and their daughter or son, whatever, little child who used to be there every year to protest, but they were always very quiet and they were very, in their terms, respectful. And by the end of 3 or 4 years, they actually joined in and were just
nice story.
That's a great story. And
yeah.
So any women here remember the Amazon Music Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said yes? Pipa, did you go to that one?
I remember it. I don't think I went. Did you, Patty or Sandy?
It was in 1974.
Okay, I was
in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Okay, because I arrived August 25th, 1974, so I probably didn't go because I just got here.
Just before you got here. That was a great time, though, wasn't it?
It was a great time. I love that time.
Yeah.
That era. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Where
have.
was it at? Where was it held?
It was in the Santa Cruz Mountains. It was actually you went off of Highway 17 to get there. I've never been to this. It was some sort of camp back there that I've never been to since.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
One of the things that I've learned is the fact that we have the women to thank for the music, because from what I can see, the guys didn't do much with music. So thanks to all the women for creating the music that you have over the years.
Yeah. Guys were doing other things.
Yeah. Like playing volleyball. Let's see. How many of you went to the Holly Near concert? Any of you remember that?
I do.
Sure, of course.
I was so bummed when she had to cancel because of the COVID thing this season. She was going to be here last month.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, should we do our last bit here, Kurt? Or Abel?
Well, does our last bit involve Patty Maxine being begged to perform again?
Yes, it does. If Patty Maxine is available to do that, are you up for it, or do you?
No, I'm up for it. I just didn't want to. The song that I chose is sort of like a closing thing, kind of. So
It's great. I mean,
but I'll just do it. Whatever. I'm ready.
Abel, can I ask you? Do you want people to hang out after Patty's performance is over? You have other things going on after this?
After this, Kurt's going to make an announcement. We're going to break up into chat rooms so that you can have interaction and discussion with others.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we'll turn it over to you, Patty. Thank you again.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you all. Love you.
Love you.
Peace on your journey, light on your path, pleasure in the moments when your life is coming fast. Got any emotion, I might have forgotten. Filling all the spaces between starting and stopping. And you know, things I didn't say, I know the way it is today. As soon as you're thinking of something to say, everything changes and the room fades away. And I've just discovered it's all right to be tender, making the moment sing is all that I remember. More than I could say, just be words to get through. Making the moment sing is all that I can tell you. And you know, things I didn't say, the way it is today. As soon as you're thinking of something to say, everything changes and the room fades away. Coming close, getting near to being free. May all your traveling be easy. And you know, things I didn't say, the way it is today. As soon as you're thinking of something to say, everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes and the room fades away.
Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you, Pat. One more thing I would say is don't eat peanuts and stuff before you sing. That's one thing.
A little too salty, you need, or
That was my lunch. Anyway, thank you all for all you've done, and I so appreciate you.
we appreciate you, and what it's all about at this point is being together, sharing things, and it's good that we have platforms like this that we can do that. So thank you to all the performers today. We really appreciate it so much for you taking time out of your day to share things with us, and it's so beautiful. I want to thank Abel and Ron and Kurt and also Tom and Larry for helping to set this whole thing up. And that's all I have to say. Kurt, do you have some closing words?
Well, I'd also like to say thank you to Leah, who set up this Zoom meeting and then had to bow out. Her mother's having some health issues. But she put a lot of work in the front end of this and then left it because of some health stuff with her mom. But she really worked a lot on this. And if you know Leah, thank her, please. So, so now we've got this time to chat. Well, has Brookdale shown up yet?
Ariana, are you here, Ariana? She can raise her hand? No? Well, we want to acknowledge Brookdale Senior Living in Scotts Valley for providing the funding support for the meals and for this program today. I also want to thank Pat and Kurt for hosting and Rob Darrow for providing the technical support. I also want to provide a thank you for Anita and Aurora, our volunteers who you've been seeing. They've been chatting with everybody. So thank you to our 2 volunteers. I also, if possible, Rob, I would like to provide maybe 3 or 4 minutes here for anybody that wants to share some kind of information, because we've been disconnected. So if you can raise your hand and Rob will unmute you. Does anybody have something they want to share with the group?
Oh, I don't have to unmute him. Just start talking.
Okay. Does somebody have some news they want to share with the group?
This is Larry. Can you hear me? Larry here.
Go, Larry.
So I just wanted to let everybody know that Patty Maxine was one of the performers at the very first Gay Pride in 1975.
Oh.
Still going strong with us
Yeah,
today.
amazing.
Wow.
Shout out to Patty.
Wow. Patty, do you remember what you sang then?
You're muted.
Oh, shoot. She disappeared on my screen. Let's see. Where'd she go?
Just unmute. She's there.
You want to just unmute
There.
everybody, Rob?
I do not remember right at the moment, but I have, thank you to Larry, I have a copy of the Pride gathering at San Lorenzo Park that year, and I sang with Joe Richards. I don't know if anyone remembers Joe Richards.
Yeah.
Way back, right? But we were there, and yeah. And so I have the song there on that little clip. If maybe we could get at least that edited, maybe we could get it up on the site there at the museum. I just don't remember the song. We were being cowboys and cowgirls at the time.
Is there singing on that video, Larry?
Yes, it is.
You don't have
Yeah.
water, huh? Because it's gonna rain.
Oh, we could go look at that. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
How is your
And
garden
the other
doing?
thing I wanted to mention is that
Oh, I know.
I just want to shout out to Sandy Stone again, because Sandy had a business downtown on Pacific Avenue called The Wizard of Odd. If some of you were here during those years, it was a stereo repair business, but it was way more than that, Sandy. It was way more. It was a community center. So thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay, I'm gonna put some.
A lot of people have left. No,
Where is Sandy?
So are you ready to turn this over to Abel?
Maybe we can mute everybody.
I think we're losing control here, Rob.
I think Richard wanted to talk.
I just want to say this is my brand at 84. Those of you who don't know me, I'm the one at Stanford that created the parade prior to the San Francisco parade. I'm the one that sourced at Stanford, the Gay People's Union, the first money. And so I'm honored to be on this historic event. And I'm not going to go into some concrete next steps, but I would like everybody's support of what we could do at Cabrillo, where this last election, shame on everybody, 30 votes elected the new Cabrillo student body president. The Diversity Center is certainly up to youth voice and student empowerment. They would say 85% of the